Alright guys, so now we have huge news for Zenless Zero. Recently, we had a dev talk livestream that came out, and with this, we now have a ton of new official news for what's coming in the upcoming Zenless Zero updates. We have things like the 2.0 banner characters being teased, upcoming quality of life changes, some game improvements, and more future characters being teased, like the IDOLS faction, set to be finally making an appearance in the Season 2 of the game, which means the 2.0 version update. Let's go over all the new details in this video, and if you guys want to be kept updated with all the latest Zenless Zero news, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and put those notifications on to be updated right away 24/7. But alright, let's get right into it. Starting with the new characters, they officially teased the 2.0 character that was previously mentioned in our roadmap videos, so we can actually see what this character looks like, and it looks pretty insane. A lot of players were pointing out she's like a Ambi clone due to the white hair and the similar structures, and as we saw, it might be a huge possibility given what we saw in the 1.6 story update. So this confirms XUAN, that's her name, XUAN, for the 2.0 version update. Alright, so they teased us the 2.0 banner character. Now what about the IDOLS faction and why are we expecting them? Well, during the dev talk, they confirmed that in the Season 2 of the Zenless story, we're going to be getting the appearance of the IDOLS faction in the Zenless story for the first time, which is pretty big. Whenever we do get any new appearances, this generally means that we have a look at the upcoming playable characters. If you guys remember how they teased the 1.7 banner characters, Vivian and Hugo, they were teased in the, if I remember correctly, it was the 1.5 update in the New Year event, where they made an appearance for the first time, and they were completely new characters, we never saw them before, and now they're already coming in the 1.7 update. So they might be doing something similar with the IDOLS faction, which pretty much confirms them, as they mentioned them in the live stream, to appear in the 2.0 version update. Now, it's not stated specifically at which time they will appear. They could appear at the start or near the end of the 2x patches. Hopefully it's right at the start. That would be really hype. Hopefully the 2.0 update actually introduces them, and then maybe around the 2.1 update, because my speculation was about the IDOL faction was that there would be anniversary units coming out for the 2.1 update as the 2.1 banners. That would be the very likely option if we do see them in the 2.0 update content, like the story or maybe side missions or maybe just in the game overall. But alright, now let's talk about all the upcoming quality of life and improvements for Zenless, because during this dev talk they talked about a lot of stuff, and this includes all their plans for upcoming changes and quality of life changes for the game, and we have a lot of big improvements for Zenless on the way. It really seems that they want to improve the story experience in 2.0 updates, so here's a quick recap of all the amazing changes on the way. So the first thing they mentioned is that we're going to be getting a new main area located within New Eridu. This new area will be the main stage for the 2.0 version story. Now they also talked about the story conflict and progression, so they plan to make the story a lot clearer, and also we have a few gameplay improvements and content on the way that they already mentioned. So because Season 2 is going to be a major overhaul of the game, not just adding content, but they especially want to include all the player feedback, which will heavily influence the game. First thing they mentioned is the map experience revamp, a complete overhaul of the map, the entire map experience, and then there's new integrations like residential areas and combat zones, new areas to make the gameplay smoother. We also have new main cities, and then a reduced loading time, so the scene transitions for the loading times will be reduced. Especially, it's also noticeable in the store, I noticed that as well, and they will also make sure to optimize the pathways. A few more things is that we have a new daily system coming up, maybe gonna have new rewards introduced with that, and then we also have a few combat system adjustments. So they addressed a few issues. They acknowledged that the current system heavily favors the main DPS, so making the 3-person squad feel more like a solo operation. That is pretty much the case, especially I noticed that using my Miyabi team, pretty much quick swap out of my 2 other characters, and then I'm with Miyabi pretty much like 95% uptime, which I have no complaints, but I do get that this could be an issue. So to fix that, they plan on enhancing the non-DPS roles in Season 2. And once more, they will do off-field agent contribution. So switched out agents will remain visually on field and contribute to combat. That sounds pretty cool. I guess we're already kind of seeing that already with Trigger, as she does a bunch of moves out of combat when you're switched out with another character. But I guess they're going to do something more long-term here. They also plan to add new enemy mechanics, things like new attacks and defense mechanics, and new specific conditions for the bosses and enemies. We'll also have new event design, so they plan to optimize all the new events, improving all the existing modes that's already in the game. And now they also have a plan for existing characters. So a few things like adding long-term value to the characters. So especially if an old unit, like a 1.0 unit that's starting to fall off really hard, well, they want to make these characters future-proof and remain in value. So yeah, let's see what they plan to do with this. Maybe some sort of system to buff older units. And now here they also plan on enhancing unit traits. So one way to fix the characters would be from enhancing the unique traits and skills rather than just boosting the damage numbers. Now that would be much better than just simply ramping up the stats on a character. Instead, add more unique traits and skills, maybe new skills even. New attacks would be really cool. And they also plan on making the future characters that come out be very compatible with the characters that came out previously. So let's say Ellen Jo, well, maybe they want to make a character that's going to be specifically really good with Ellen Jo to bring her back into the meta. So it's really good to have the devs acknowledge this. And one thing you want to improve on the characters is storytelling and charm. Make the characters more likable, add more personality, ensure that even previously released characters get more opportunities to showcase their charm and find purpose within new Erdu's evolving story, which is pretty good instead of just forgetting about a character once they launch, never seeing them again in a story. I would say it's quite important for them to bring back characters, as usually what they tend to do is they push the newest character in the story patch right away, and then once the new character banner is away, we never see them again. But if they do that in ZZZ, it'll be really good. Alright, then a few other things that they announced here, like team acknowledgement, call for feedback, Xbox platform. Zenless Zone Zero is being prepared for launch on Xbox consoles. We saw that in my latest video, that there's going to be a Xbox showcase livestream pretty soon. I think it's going to be happening next week. So really hype. But yeah, guys, this is all the hype news and teasers that we're getting for the upcoming updates. Very good improvements. A lot of stuff that they acknowledge here is really important to the longevity of the game. And also we have the teasers on the future characters. The 2.0 banner, XUAN. She looks pretty amazing, especially for a 2.0 headlining character. You guys let me know what you guys think of all these changes, or what do you think about the brand new character that they just teased. But that is all for this video. And as always, if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe, put those notifications on. That is all the info I have for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.